Happy Sunday, beautiful people in my phone. Welcome to Car Conversations, where we talk all things faith, freedom, and football. It's a beautiful day. Y'all see the sun? Can y'all catch this light? It's a beautiful day. This is the day the Lord has made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it. On my way to the house of the Lord. But man, we had some football last night. Man, okay. Here's what we know. Let's get into it. First of all, Jordan Travis and FSU. That literally was heartbreaking to watch. His last game in Doak Stadium, what he has done for that team and putting them back on the map, yes, that was very, very hard. Oh, gosh, and they kept showing it. And then I kept seeing it online, and I was like, would y'all stop? Please, stop. Horrific leg injury there, and just so sad to see. It was moving to see both teams surrounding him. That was just moving. So, FSU put it in the high gear. The backup QB came in, and I mean, they were playing North Alabama. But still, will that affect their rankings? And I know it seems insensitive to talk about rankings after such a tragic injury. But prayers up to Jordan Travis and his family, and just keep your head up, bro. It sounds like he already is, he's in a good place mentally. So just stay there. He will see you through. I do believe that is going to affect them moving forward, because I just do. I believe that's going to affect them moving forward. Now, it seems seamless after a minute. They got into their rhythm yesterday. They go down to the Swamp. We're into rivalry week. They will go down to the Swamp. And let's talk about the Swamp. Let's not talk about the Swamp. Let's talk about Mizzou versus Florida. Because Mizzou, has been trending up for a couple of years now. But this season, Coach Drink should absolutely get SEC Coach of the Year, in my opinion. Yeah, he's done an amazing job. He's done an outstanding job. And that when you compare the fact that he does not get the talent off the top that Georgia and Alabama get, he absolutely has done a remarkable coaching job, because it's portal players, right? Everybody's picking from the portal, which, yes, Lord, what has happened up here? They got all the po-pos up here on Barrett Parkway. Oh, this is for the church. Okay. That's the other church. It's real weird. I used to go to that church when I first moved here 10 years ago. I used to go to that church, and now I get to drive by that church as I go to my new church. Anyway. Picking players from the portal has its advantages in the fact that they're already experienced. Most of them are. Some of them could very well be very elite players who just didn't get a chance to play where they were, didn't get enough PT, for them where they were. And so they have a level of experience. Many times they're a couple of years in, so they have a little bit more maturity as well. So there's a lot of benefits to picking players from the portal, and then you can plug them in. If they can catch up with real quick and understand how you all do things at your institution and what your brand is and what your brand of football is and what that looks like, open up the playbook, they got it, they learn it, and they can get in. That's one thing, and they can play. But here's the caveat to the portal players and coaching them and integrating them into the team. It's how well do they mix with the other players? what kind of chemistry has developed in a short period of time, to have them out on the field, playing. What kind of chemistry has developed? Because you're talking about players that have been together for a couple of years. They kind of have grown up together. So that's the caveat there, that when your coaching is sound and when your coaching is on another level, that you can not only integrate the players from the portal onto the field for your team, but you can also integrate them in the locker room and where it really matters, and that's what Coach Drink obviously has done a tremendous job with that, because that 4th and 17, that QB right there, what was his name? Cook, Brady Cook. That QB on 4th and 17, the game is on the line. Florida thinks they haven't I don't know what they thought. They couldn't have thought it was over. And Mizzou was at home. That 4th and 17, and then the field goal kick, to win the game. That, you gotta love that for Mizzou. Mizzou is trending up. Are they a 2-loss team? I think they have 2 losses. And they lost to Georgia. We didn't play Missouri this year, did we? No, we didn't. They got to be one of the better 2-loss teams in the country, hands down. Welcome to the SEC, Mizzou. I know you've been here a minute. I know you have. I know you've been here a minute. I know that you are. You went to the SEC championship game several years ago, but I feel like this is a turning, a changing of the guards, if you will, in your coming into the SEC. So welcome to the SEC, Mizzou. Washington. Michael Penix pulled it out. In Corvallis against Oregon State. And that was a solid win. That was a really big win for Washington. So I think Washington now has 2 big wins, 2 ranked wins. And so I think Washington, that was huge. Y'all, the pouring down rain in the first half, the torrential downpour in the first half, and the way the ball was getting turned over because of the rain, it was that was a good game to watch. I enjoy watching Michael Penix. I really do. He is still one of my top, if not my top Heisman candidate. Of course, Jaden Daniels. And I didn't watch Bo Nix, and I don't even remember who Oregon was. They were playing Arizona State or somebody, but he was throwing all over them. I'll make sure I pay attention to Oregon and Oregon State next week for the rivalry week. Michigan and Maryland. Let's talk about how Michigan squeaked by Maryland. Y'all, I don't believe in Michigan anymore. I really, really don't. And all this that has happened, with their program, the cheating scandal, I think that the committee has not done their due diligence in factoring in, everything that has happened in their rankings. I really don't. I just really don't. And there's probably the majority of the committee are Big Ten people. So there's that. It's just a broken system. Why can't we go back to the BCS? We were happy with the BCS. Why can't we go back to the BCS? It's all subjective. It's 100% subjective now, because they're not looking at everything they said they're supposed to be looking at as far as the criterion. They really aren't. It's subjective. And is it today? They said they start each ranking meeting, with a blank slate. Who are the top 4 teams right now? The top 4 teams right now to me would be Georgia. Georgia handled Tennessee and Knoxville. Let's call it Georgia handled Tennessee and Knoxville handedly, okay? Tennessee came out, punched them in the mouth right quick, and then that was it. The rest was history. Georgia's the number 1 team. I would say Alabama. I would say we're looking like the top 2nd team in the country. I would say Mizzou is trending up for a 2-loss team, y'all. Texas barely got by Iowa State. Barely got by Iowa State. And I know you're like, she's SEC biased, whatever. Y'all, this conference is different. It's different. Ohio State and Michigan, I don't even know who Ohio State played yesterday. I just don't know. Like, who are they playing? Who are they playing? You know, Michigan really should have gotten beat by Talia Tagovailoa yesterday in Maryland and Coach Loxley. And Coach Loxley, I just saw his whole face. I mean, he knew it. He knew it. That intentional grounding call was it. And I felt so bad for Talia in that. But they should have won that game. They really should have won that game. There's no way that Michigan... Now, I will say about Michigan's run game. Michigan, that what's his name? Blake. That running back. The one that was all bloodied and battled and bruised after the last week. He can run. He can run. But is J.J. McCarthy, is he like the QB that really can get it done in the air for him too? Because you can't just run. And that's what we're gonna see when they play Ohio State. And I feel like we saw that yesterday. I really do feel like we saw that yesterday. It was the mistakes of Maryland. It was the mistakes of Maryland that Michigan got that win. So to me, that means that Michigan is not a top 5 team at all. They were counting on the mistakes of the other team to win. I like Mizzou. Who else is trending upwards? Washington. I would say Washington. After that win yesterday, I would say Washington. And I'd say those are top 4. I mean, in Ohio State and Michigan, they just haven't played. Michigan hasn't played well when they have played. And Ohio State hadn't played anybody. There. I said it. I said what I said. I'm sticking to it. It was great football though. Oh, let me just mention this and let me just mention this real quick before I log off so I can get to church on time and pay attention to where I'm going. It's pretty clear that Auburn looked ahead to the Iron Bowl this week. They were looking ahead and looking past New Mexico State. And what did New Mexico State do when they collected that $1.8 million check? They whipped them too. They whipped them and collected the check and danced up out of Jordan hair. Yeah, so here's what I'll say about that, other than the laughs because it's rivalry week. I'll say this. That means they're going to be on a warpath come Saturday for the Iron Bowl. Auburn's going to be looking for some sort of vindication, and this is what I've seen in the pattern of their play this season. They get up for the big teams. They get up for the big games, and they don't for everybody else. Because they played Georgia hard for most of that game, remember? It was like 3 quarters. They were playing them hard until Brock Bowers took over in the 4th quarter. So they get up for big games. I don't expect anything less from Auburn on Saturday for the Iron Bowl. They will be up for that game. They clearly overlooked New Mexico State, and that's coaching. But Hugh Freeze, we know about Hugh Freeze. Let me not go. Forgive me, Father. Nope. So you all have an amazing Sunday. I'll probably talk Dallas a little bit later, but I want y'all to remember to stay winning and stay free. Love y'all.